She forgot to log out of her secret profile. What I saw ruined our entire marriage.
Don't miss the next twist. Hit subscribe and turn on the bell for more interesting stories like this.
My name is Jason. I'm 34 years old, and up until recently, I thought I had one of the most solid marriages among my friend group. We had our ups and downs, sure. What couple doesn't? But for the most part, I believed in us. I believed in my wife. I believed in the story we told the world, the one we built over 10 years. We had a quiet life in Oregon. I worked in IT security, mostly remote, except for the occasional 2-week client trips. She, Marissa, worked part-time as a freelance editor and stayed home more than I did. We didn't have kids yet, though we were trying. Or, I thought we were. This story really starts about 4 months ago, when I got assigned to an overseas project. A rare month-long consulting contract in Germany. I was hesitant. Marissa had seemed a little off lately, more distant, like something was on her mind. But when I brought it up, she brushed it off and said I should take the job. That it was good money. That she'd be fine. The night before I left, we had dinner, watched our favorite show, and she kissed me harder than usual. I remember thinking, maybe the distance will be good. We can both reset a little, miss each other. Turns out, she was planning that distance. Not missing me. I won't drag you through the details of the work trip. Long hours, hotel food, the usual. What matters is what happened after I got back. She met me at the airport, looked glowing. Happier than I remembered. That should have been my first sign. The house was spotless. She had even cooked, something she didn't do often. At first, I felt grateful. Lucky. Like maybe the time apart had refreshed us. The first weird thing came 3 days later. I asked her where my old tablet was. I needed it to test a device sync. It was an older model I hadn't used in a year or so. Her face went pale. Like ghost white. She said, "I think it's broken. I was going to recycle it." That didn't sit right. 1. I never break tech. 2. I never recycle it without wiping it myself. I asked her where it was. She hesitated, then went to the closet and pulled it out of a tote bag. Still powered on. Just buried. I plugged it in and started poking around. At first, it looked normal, old apps, some books. But I noticed something, a second user profile. One I didn't create. She must have forgotten to log out. I shouldn't have looked. But I did. Messages. Dozens. No, hundreds. Chat logs. Pictures. Videos. She hadn't just been unfaithful. She had built another life. With a man named Darren. A contractor she met at her gym. Apparently, they'd been seeing each other for at least 8 months. It started with flirtation, coffee, gym sessions, then escalated fast. But the worst part? They talked about me. Openly. Cruelly. She called me blind and boring. Laughed about how I thought we were trying for kids. Said things like, "He thinks a baby will fix us." Darren joked about my beard. Called me Beta Jason. There were photos. Videos I wish I could unsee. Her in our bed. With him. I don't know how long I sat on the floor holding that tablet. But when she came in and saw me, her face told me everything. She didn't deny it. She just started crying. I didn't yell. Didn't scream. I said, "You planned this, didn't you? You encouraged me to leave so you could live this fantasy without risk." She said nothing. Just cried. What followed was days of silence. Then half explanations. Then blame. She said I was distant. That I was married to my work. That I didn't see her. I told her, "You should have told me that. Not him." I moved into a short-term rental 2 days later. That was just the start. The betrayal wrecked me, but the loneliness buried me. Our mutual friends didn't know how to react. Some ghosted me. Others tiptoed around, afraid to pick sides. I didn't blame them. No one wants to get caught between a dumpster fire and an emotional breakdown. Then came the legal hell. We weren't just married. We shared finances, a mortgage, joint accounts. The lawyer meetings felt like surgeries, slow, painful, and expensive. During one of those meetings, I learned she had used part of our savings, money we had set aside for IVF, to book a weekend getaway with Darren. That broke me. It wasn't just betrayal. It was theft. Of money. Of hope. Of time. I started therapy shortly after that. My therapist, Sarah, was the first person who let me be angry and broken at the same time. Who didn't flinch when I said, "I wish I never met her." Therapy was hard, but it saved me. One session I told Sarah, "I don't know who I am without her." She looked at me and said, "That's your homework. Go find out." So I started rebuilding. Quietly. Brick by brick. I reconnected with an old friend from college. Took a weekend road trip. Spent hours hiking and rediscovering silence that wasn't empty. I got back into photography, a hobby I dropped early in our marriage because Marissa said it was too expensive. I made new playlists, cooked new meals, rearranged furniture just because I could. Each small act reminded me I still exist. One night, 3 months after I moved out, I saw Darren. It was at the grocery store. He didn't notice me. He was in the frozen foods aisle, arguing on the phone. He looked tired, angry, deflated. Part of me wanted to confront him, to unleash every word I'd rehearsed in the mirror. But I didn't. Because I realized something. I didn't need his apology. Or hers. What I needed was already happening. I was healing. And healing is quiet. Unimpressive. Slow. But it's real. Now, almost a year later, I live in a small townhouse with big windows. I drink my coffee on the porch. I adopted a rescue dog named Finn. I go to the gym, not for revenge, not to level up, but because it feels good. I'm not whole. Not yet. But I'm honest. And honesty is something I never got from her. A few months after everything settled, something strange happened. Marissa called me. I didn't pick up at first. But she called again. And again. I finally answered. Her voice sounded small. "I need to tell you something," she said. There was a pause. "I'm pregnant." My stomach dropped. I asked the only thing that made sense. "Is it mine?" she said. "No." She was crying, but I wasn't. She wanted to talk. She wanted me to understand. Said Darren had ghosted her. That she was alone. That she didn't want anything from me, but she didn't know who else to call. I listened. Then I said, "You made your choices. Now you get to live with him." And I hung up. I blocked her number. Again. For a moment, I felt guilty. But then I realized that guilt wasn't mine to carry anymore. I told Sarah, my therapist, about it. She nodded slowly and said, "That was your final closure." She was right. Not every story has a clean ending. But some do. Mine ended with a phone call I didn't expect. And a silence I finally welcomed.